Hello students. In this video we are going to discuss about the solubility. As we know that the substance which get dissolved in the liquid, the substance is called a soluble substance. And the substance which will not get dissolved in the water or any liquid, then it is called as insoluble. The example very most common to you, that is salt get dissolved in water, that is salt is soluble, but the sand which is insoluble in water, that is an example for insoluble substance. So first let us discuss what is the definition for solubility. Solubility can be defined as solubility of a substance is its maximum amount that can be dissolved in a specified amount of solvent at a specific temperature. So, the solubility for a substance can be defined, that is a maximum how much amount can be dissolved, that in a specific amount of a solvent and at a given temperature, because the temperature plays a very important role in the solubility. So, when we specify a temperature, at that temperature how much will be the maximum amount of a substance can be dissolved in a specific amount of solvent, that is called as its solubility. Solubility depends upon nature of the solute, nature of the solvent, temperature and pressure. So first we need to discuss about the solubility of gases in a liquid and the solubility of solid in a liquid. So first let us discuss solubility of solid in liquid. The polar substance get dissolved in the polar solvents. That is, solutes are polar in nature and the solvent are polar in nature. At the time, the solute get dissolved in the solvent. And so, the non-polar substances get dissolved in the non-polar solvents. From this what we can say that the polar get dissolved in the polar, non-polar get dissolved in the non-polar. That means we can use the statement that is like dissolves like, as we have already discussed this concept. A very most important examples for these are, that is salt and sugar, which is actually polar in nature, get dissolved in the water, but naphthalene and anthracene, which is non-polar, it get dissolved in the non-polar solvent benzene. That is actually the examples which shows that like dissolves in like. That is, salt which is polar in nature get dissolved in the water which is polar. This is because the more similar the intermolecular attraction, the more likely one substance is to be soluble in another. Because the polar get dissolved in the polar means there will be similar intermolecular attractions. That's why they get dissolved. The solubility of a solid in liquid, we have already discussed this concept last year in the chapter equilibrium. That is, in a saturated solution, there is a dynamic equilibrium exists between the solute molecules, that is in the solid state and in the solution state. So here there is an equilibrium between the solute in the solution form and solute in the solid form. So here we have taken the example of sugar, that is in the solution form and in the solid form they are in the state of dynamic equilibrium. Here the rate of dissolution is equal to rate of crystallization. As we have discussed what is dissolution, the process of dissolving the solute in the solvent is dissolution. And the process in which there is a formation of crystals from the dissolved solute which get crystallized is called as crystallization. So what is actually happening? At first the only process occurring is the dissolving of the salt or the solute. That is actually at first when we start to dissolve a solute in the solvent, only the dissolution process takes place. Later on what happens? As it continues, the precipitation starts. So here Evenly, the rate of dissolution is equal to the rate of precipitation. At that stage, what we can say that now the solution is saturated solution. Saturated solution means saturated solution, as you are already familiar with this word. Saturated solution means the solution in which no more solute get dissolved. Because at this state, the rate of dissolution become rate of crystallization. That's why how much the salt or the solute which you will be adding into the solvent, that much get dissolved and the same number will get crystallized. So this is what actually we have already discussed. What is the effect of temperature? Definitely, if the salt or the sugar, when the temperature is increased, so what happen? The solubility get increased because more quantity of the solute can be dissolved at higher temperature. It is very most familiar term to you because while preparing a thick sugar syrup, how we prepare? By increasing the temperature. So the effect of temperature, we can say that the solubility increases with the increasing in the temperature. That is the solubility of solid in liquid. What is the effect of temperature? Solubility increases with increase in the temperature. This is because as it follows the Le Chatelier's principle. In the saturated solution, the dissolution process is endothermic and thus solubility increases. As we have learned this principle last year, so the dissolution process is endothermic. So when the temperature is increased, so the process will be moved in the direction of endothermic process. That is, dissolution process will be continued. That's why the solubility increases. So it is very important point, what is the effect of temperature on the solubility of solid in liquid? That is, the temperature increase, solubility increases. What is the effect of pressure on the solubility of solid in a liquid? Because we can find that there is no significant effect of pressure. That is on the solubility of solid in the liquid. This is because as we know that solid and liquids are actually incompressible in nature. We can't compress the solid or a liquid, but we can compress the gas. So when we talk about the solubility of solid in the liquid, we can say that there is no significant effect of pressure because the solid and liquids are highly incompressible. Next is the solubility of gas in liquid. Many gases dissolve in water. Oxygen dissolves only to a small extent in the water. It is this dissolved oxygen which sustains all the aquatic life. The dissolved oxygen which is in the water is sustain all the aquatic life. On the other hand, hydrogen chloride gas, that is HCl, is highly soluble in water. Solubility of gases in the liquid is greatly affected by the pressure. That is, the solubility of gases increases with the increase in the pressure. That can be very well explained through this diagram. For the solution of gases in a solvent, let us consider a system which is shown in the figure here. That is, the lower part is the solution and the upper part is gases at the pressure P. Here, assumed in the system to be a state of dynamic equilibrium. That is, the dynamic equilibrium is here. Under this condition, the rate of gaseous particles entering to the liquid and leaving the solution phase is the same. Here, because there is a state of equilibrium, that means the number of gaseous particle which enters into the solution and the rate of leaving of the solution of the gaseous particles is same. So here these are in the state of dynamic equilibrium. Now when we increase the pressure over the solution, so let us use the piston here. We are increasing the pressure by applying via pressure is applied here. That means now there is an increase in the pressure over the solution phase by compressing the gas to a smaller volume. When you compare here and here, this have small volume. So by compressing the gases to a smaller volume, we can say that the pressure over the solution is increased. So due to this, what happened here, the pressure is increased and again a state of equilibrium is developed. So this will increase the number of gaseous particles per unit volume over the solution, and also the rate at which the gaseous particles are striking to the surface of the solution to enter it. So that means when we apply the pressure here, so the more number of gaseous particles get entered into the solution state. That means the solubility increases. And the solubility of this gas increases until a new equilibrium is reached. That is, you can see here a new equilibrium is reached. So what we can conclude from this diagram that here the gases particles can be, greater number of gaseous particles can be made soluble in the liquid by increasing the pressure. So what we can conclude this one? This is actually the solubility of gases increases with the increase of pressure. Henry was the first to give a quantitative relation between the pressure and the solubility of gas in a solvent, which is known as Henry's law. Let us state the Henry's law. The solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. That means the solubility of gas is proportional, and that is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. That is what we have explained here. When the pressure is increased, solubility of the gas is increased. So the solubility of gas in the liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. Here, it can also be defined in this way. The mole fraction of the gas in which the solution is proportional to the partial pressure of the gas over the solution. Now here we are relating in between the mole fraction and the partial pressure. That means the mole fraction of the gas in which the solution is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas over the solution. So when we look at this plot here, which is shown here, that is here there is a relation between the mole fraction and the partial pressure. So here the partial pressure and mole fraction relation, it have a direct relation. That's why we are getting a plot here, that is a straight line plot we are getting, because here the partial pressure and mole fraction have a direct relation. So make a relation here, that is PA, partial pressure of the is directly proportional to the mole, its mole fraction. Here the when we remove the proportionality sign, here there is a constant which is called as a Henry's law constant, that is represented as KH. What is KH? Henry's law constant. So if we draw a graph between the partial pressure of the gas versus mole fraction of the gas in the solution, and we get a plot in this way, a straight line plot is got, because here PA is directly proportional to XA. So here we can define these terms as here KH. KH is the Henry's constant, that is specific for a specific gas, because different gases have different KH value at the same temperature. So that is very important to note, that different gases have different KH value at the same temperature. And the X is the mole fraction of the gas, and P is the partial pressure of the gas in the vapor phase. So here we can say that when there is a higher is the value of KH at a given pressure, the lower is the solubility of the gas in the liquid. Because when we look at this relation, that is PA is equal to KH XA. That means if the pressure at a constant pressure, that means pressure P is taken as kept constant, and so when you compare here, if the gas have higher value of KH, because the product of these two KH and XA product is equal to the constant value PA. So if greater will the value of KH, so we can say that XA value will be smaller. Whether here I can put an arrow mark to show if greater is the value of KH, smaller is the value of XA. So that means on the basis of the KH value, we can say that if higher is the KH value for a particular gas, at the time lower is the solubility of that gas in the liquid, that is at a constant pressure. So depending upon this, the question will be asked that if 2 KH value is given for 2 different gases, the question will be asked which one is more soluble. So how you can find out? Greater the value of KH, what we can say, greater is the value of KH, lower is the solubility of that gas. Lower is the solubility. Next, for this Henry's law, there are some application that we have to discuss. Application of Henry's law. So the first point here is that to increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in the soft drink, the soda water, the bottle is actually sealed under the high pressure. You are very much familiar with the soft drinks in which the carbon dioxide gas is made to dissolve in it, and actually it is made to be dissolved in the liquid, and that is under the high pressure. So the bottles are sealed under the high pressure. So when the bottle is opened under the normal atmospheric condition, the pressure inside the bottle falls to the atmospheric pressure and the excess of carbon dioxide bubbles out. That you can see that the excess of carbon dioxide bubbles out of the solution, causing the effervescence. So we feel that fizzing sound when we open that type of soft drink bottles, because when we open the bottle lid, so the pressure get reduced to the atmospheric pressure. So what happened? The solubility get decreased and the carbon dioxide gases will be move out as a bubbles, causing the effervescence. The next application is to avoid the bends. The tanks used by the scuba divers are filled with the air diluted with helium. What is this? Actually, in the deep sea divers, depends upon the compressed air for breathing. They depend upon the compressed air for the breathing, because there is a it's not easy as breathing in the deep sea. So at a high pressure under the water, so the compressed air contains nitrogen. It contains the compressed air contain nitrogen in addition to the oxygen, which are very soluble in the blood at the normal pressure. So this easily get soluble in the normal pressure. So however, at a great depth, when the divers breathe in the compressed air, which is supplied from the tank, so more nitrogen dissolves in the blood and the other fluid. Because of this, the pressure at the depth is very far greater than the surface atmosphere. So under the deep sea, the pressure is greater. Pressure is greater under the deep sea, is much greater. So what happened? The solubility increases. So the nitrogen get dissolved in the blood and the other fluid. So when the diver comes towards the surface, the pressure decreased. At the time, the pressure decreased and nitrogen comes out of the body quickly, forming a bubbles in the bloodstream. So these bubbles restrict the blood flow and affect the transmission of nerves impulses. So the bubbles can even burst the capillaries and block them and disturb the tissues of oxygen. This condition is called as bends. This condition is called as bends. So bends is a condition in which the nitrogen gas it moves out of the body quickly, forming bubbles in the bloodstream. So this was actually causing the bubbles. This bubbles actually restrict the blood flow, and what happened? The capillaries even get burst. This condition is called as bends, and it is also one of the question which will be asked: what causes the bends? The bends is caused due to the when the deep sea divers, when we take the compressed air which contain nitrogen and oxygen, when they take this gas, so under the deep sea the pressure is quite higher. So what happened? The solubility of nitrogen increases in the blood. That means greater number of nitrogen get dissolved. So when it comes when the divers comes out from the water, it comes on the surface. At the time the solubility get decreased and this nitrogen gas comes out as a bubbles, so which causes the burst of the capillaries and block them. So this effect is called as a bends. So actually to avoid this condition, what is actually done, so most of the professional divers these days use the air which is diluted with the helium. Diluted with the helium, it is taken as a, because of the lower is the solubility of helium in the blood than the nitrogen. So in the place of nitrogen, now the tanks which is used by the professional divers, these actually instead of nitrogen, helium is present, and it have a very low solubility in the blood in compared to the nitrogen. So this is avoiding the situation of bends. So the air diluted with the solubility of helium, that is actually it contains 11.7% helium, 56.2% nitrogen, 32.1% of oxygen is present in the compressed air, that is in the tank which is used by the professional divers. So this concept is also based upon the application of Henry's law. Next is the application, that is the low blood oxygen causes high altitude climbers to become weak and unable to think clearly. It is a symptoms of a condition which is known as anoxia. It is also an important term, anoxia, that is a condition in which the people cannot able to think clearly and they feel very weak. This is actually due to the low blood oxygen. And why it causes? Because we know that the climbers at high altitudes, the pressure of oxygen, the partial pressure of oxygen at high altitude is less. So as it is less than the ground level, so this result in the low concentration of oxygen in the blood and the tissues of the people. So as the atmosphere at high altitude, as the partial pressure of oxygen is lesser, so it results in the low concentration of oxygen in the blood also and in the tissues. So because of this reason, because of the low concentration of oxygen in the blood, the people which is living at a high altitude and those are the climbers, they very feel weak. They feel weak and actually they are unable to think clearly. This condition is known as anoxia. So this is also an application of Henry's law. So these are the three applications of Henry's law, that is in the production of carbonated beverages, application of Henry's law is there, and in the deep sea diving, that is in the scuba diving, there is an application of Henry's law and at high altitude. So these are the three applications of Henry's law. Next we will be discussing the effect of temperature. As the temperature goes up, the solubility of gases goes down. It means that the solubility decreases with the increase in the temperature. That means when the temperature is increased, the solubility get decreased. It can be explained through this diagram, because we know that here the gases and the are in the dynamic equilibrium with the solution phase. So here there is a principle which get follow here, that is it follows a Le-Chatelier principle here. As the dissolution is an exothermic process, we know that here the dissolution is exothermic process and the solubility get decreased with the increase in the temperature. So when we increase the temperature, the particles their solubility get decreased. So what we can say that if the temperature is increased, then the solubility of gas in the liquid decreases, but the solubility of solid in the liquid, solubility of solid in the liquid is actually increases with the temperature, but the solubility of gas in the liquid is actually decreases with the increase in the temperature. So this is all about this video. Have a nice day.